One question, a possible new global norm. This is a podcast with just one question to cover. Today we have with us Stuart Turley, President and CEO of Sandstone Group in Texas. Good morning, Stuart.
Oh, good morning. How's my favorite guy from Brazil?
Oh, thank you so much. So much. Please let me reproduce the comment here you said recently in, uh, in LinkedIn. You said the following. People forget the energy, oil, nuclear, and gas markets are interconnected. Individual countries need their own energy security, and everyone needs to see about backup systems or emergency plans. I'm afraid that may be the new normal, global norm. Please, Stuart, what's a possible new global norm?
Oh, Armand, that is such a great question because what's about to happen in the U.S. And around the world, quite honestly, the United States is not prepared for the strain that renewable energy has put on our grid. And when you take a look at Armand, we've just talked about humanity. You and I are humanitarians, and the folks in Africa are. We'd like to elevate everybody from other countries from poverty, energy poverty. Cooking over cow dung or cooking over wood is not healthy. So the new norm, because of the disastrous trying to hook into a grid with renewable energy, and your whole team has talked about renewable energy and how tough it makes the grid. You take a look at those two single items, Armand, and you say, wait a minute, what's the new norm? We are getting notes from ERCOT in Texas. The EIA has put out really big warnings for blackouts in the United States that may be the new norm. The new norm may be, quite honestly, living like in Pakistan. And it is so sad because Pakistan has such a high inflation rate, Armand, and they don't have any electricity. They are used to 4 hours on, 16 hours off, 8 hours on. And that may be the new norm as the world energy security is coming off. Does that make sense? So the global geopolitical issues are causing any country that is not sustaining in their own energy independence is going to filter down to every human on the planet. If you don't have your backup generators, because a lot of folks, sorry about my office phone,
No problem.
uh, and so many of the people don't even have the original power. They're going to be better off because that's the way they live now. And then you take a look at the folks that don't have or live in the cities, don't have backup methods, don't have a way to supply. Because, Armand, if you lose power, you lose sewage, you lose water. Um, what happens in not only a natural disaster, but in rolling blackouts? And it's because of baseline power. Nuclear is only like 4% in Texas at its steady. Coal plants are coming down and being retired before
We have
before they're even
replacement.
ready. And Germany, my goodness, Armand, you know the weirdness that's going on in Germany. They are now they're tearing down wind farms so they can continue the coal mine that Greta was throwing that big fit at, and they're starting up that big coal mine again. So now Germany has shut down their nukes, their nuclear reactors. They are importing. coal and trying to import more expensive electricity. They've lost a lot of their company. VW closed down their plants in Germany, a couple plants. They're not building a new one. BASF has closed down a fertilizer plant because they don't have enough natural gas. This whole intertwined on that question that you asked as thing, and that was what my response was on that. It's a wide interrelated problem that drops down to it starts at our political leaders, it goes to the renewable, and then it drops down to every citizen of the planet. How's that for an answer?
Because short, amplifying a little bit this same topic. So we cannot live with complex systems as energy
Right.
without contingencies.
Exactly. Exactly. Armand, what would happen if there was a brownout in your city and your grid went down?
Yeah, no
What would
contingencies.
happen to your family right now?
That's right.
I mean, everybody needs to think that way.
But why they are not thinking that way?
They're late in the US. I can answer for the US. We're stupid. We are absolutely thinking about ourselves. The kids are looking at their cell phones and they think that they can do this from now on. And that is not, Armand. My granddad came into Oklahoma on a wagon train. I am not that far removed from that. My dad did not have a indoor plumbing until he was 16 for a bathroom. He used an outhouse till he was 16. I have been able to learn a lot of those things. My dad can survive without power. I mean, that generation and I can survive without power. So now, what is the next generation? Can they survive? I heard something the other day. If we lost power, let's say the sun has an EMP, if they have a sun cloud and they take out one part of the US grid, we would lose 90% of our population because of inability to survive.
So the new norm may be waiting for the new winter to be not so hard because we do not have enough energy to supply.
Absolutely. And it's all based on energy, forcing the energy transition. I think we ought to go to an energy transition, but I believe it should be nuclear. I believe in nano nuclear. It's a new thing that's coming out where there's as big as a refrigerator, molten sand reactors. I believe in oil and gas. Let's let Africa use their natural resources, but yet teach them best known methods to make sure we don't pollute or get it out there. This is a simple discussion. You and I talk about it, Armand.
Yeah.
Not everybody does.
Yeah, and the new norm means that at the same time, mining 10 or 100 times more and making an environmental impact without taking care of that.
You bet. I think we went over our time, Armand. I could talk for hours on this. In fact, I just got through talking with a gentleman that is getting ready for an African conference. I'm going to be talking to African leaders next week. And so I love talking to people around the world about this. And so it's about humanity.
Good, very good, very good. Stuart, the plan today was something very short, only to focusing on that. So we could be talking for hours about that. But I would like to thank you so much. It was a great pleasure to have you. And the one question, no
as
problem.
always, Armand, you plan it for a day when you and I talk. I enjoy our discussions.
Thank you. Have a great day for you with
You
a
too.
new norm.
The new norm. Great question.
Great question. Thank you. Bye bye.